Today, maybe more than ever, we need to be possibilistic about the future. And as you might know, it was Hans Rosling, the author of the eye-opening book Factfulness, who used the word possibilist to describe someone that sees progress and is filled with conviction and hope that further progress is possible. In other words, being possibilistic is having a clear and reasonable view about how things are, but also what they can lead to. I am possibilistic about the future, and I think we all should be, despite the grim headlines in the newspapers. I believe the progress being made in society today will lead to further progress, and it will even take us to our desired end goal, a just, equal society resilient to climate change. In terms of donut economics, a society where we meet the needs of all while avoiding to put too much pressure on Earth's biosphere. That is the goal. But it's not going to be easy to get there. While human society has generated significant economic value in the past, it has also weakened the resilience of planet Earth. Today, we have surpassed 6 out of 9 planetary boundaries as defined by the Stockholm Resilience Center. And to avoid the severe consequences associated with surpassing these planetary boundaries, such as escalating temperatures, water scarcity, food shortages, and even mass migration, it is absolutely imperative that we transition to a more sustainable human society. And unfortunately, incremental improvements to our current global systems are not enough. Instead, we must transform them. Continuing with business as usual is not a viable option. Breakthrough Energy Ventures defines 5 grand challenges that we need to overcome to get to net zero. We need a transformation of the agricultural system, manufacturing, transportation, buildings, and last but not least, electricity to get to net zero. And to cite Breakthrough's 2023 transition report, a core component of the world's net zero strategy is electrifying everything. In other words, we need to get electricity right if we want to get the other challenges right. So today, instead of preaching to the choir and talking to those of you that already are convinced that geothermal is a crucial part of a sustainable energy system, I'm actually turning to those of you who still not are convinced of the value of geothermal and the role it can play in our society. I'm turning to you who want to join the industry, but still don't know if this is the right time or how you can do it. I'm turning to those of you who don't know how to contribute in your current role. I want to try to clear your doubts once and for all. Why? Because we need more people to join the industry. We need your contribution. So, first of all, maybe let's define the end game, the future that we want to create. Baseload Capital defines it as a planet in balance with resilient societies that run on renewable energy. And this is something that lies very close to my own heart. And I actually think that it's a compelling vision that everyone should be able to support. And if that's the end game, I bet your first question is maybe how geothermal energy is part of that. Well, think about it. Geothermal energy is one of those things that ticks all the boxes for creating a resilient society. It provides us with green heat, cooling, electricity, 24/7, 365 days per year. It can power transportation, housing, agriculture, production, and create meaningful work for a lot of people. Not to mention the amazing spas that can be built as well. So, geothermal helps us to make the energy system more sustainable. which is a prerequisite for creating a resilient society. Okay, great, but is the potential for geothermal really big enough to move the needle, you might ask? Well, the independent organization Product Inner Space, a great organization, they recently presented a report showing that if we would drill for geothermal energy at the same rate as we currently drill for oil and gas, up to 77% of global demand for electricity and over 100% of global demand for heat can be supplied by geothermal by 2050. But the good news is we don't have to take it all the way to 100%. While some argue, especially in this room, that this is the geothermal decade, I would still say that the 2020s are the solar decade. The world currently adds more than a whopping 200 gigawatts of new solar power each year, and the rate of deployment is growing. Wind shows a similar growth story, with more than 80 gigawatts of new installed capacity per year currently. Great! So is geothermal even needed? You know this already, but while solar is the world's cheapest production source, it will only produce energy when the sun is up. And modeling shows that at a 50% penetration, the marginal cost for a renewable electricity network goes up exponentially as storage is needed to even out the production curves. Short and long-term storage is advancing quickly and it will help to decarbonize the grids, but the, say, last 20%, that's the tricky part. And that's where geothermal plays a crucial role, providing flexible baseload production. Okay, great, but what about the cost, you might ask? Well, look at giants like Mercury, Ormat, Landsvirkjun, HS Orca, and Kengen. They all show that geothermal energy can be done profitable already today. And in addition, again citing Product Inner Space, only by adding existing technology from oil and gas, costs can go down between 20 to 40% from here. And what I think is even more exciting, there is a lot of new technology coming down the line from companies such as GA Drilling, Quaise, Fervo, Ever, Baker Hughes, Greenfire, and many, many, many more. And in addition to this, the US Department of Energy recently announced it's supplying $44 million to projects to significantly drive down costs of enhanced geothermal systems, with the aim to enable 90 gigawatt of production by 2050. So a lot is happening, and it's profitable already today. Okay, but does the customer really want it? I actually remember Peter Tate once said in a panel that we were participating in at the Geothermal Congress on Iceland, we need the end consumer to care and want geothermal. And it's still early days, but I think that this is actually happening. Companies like Google and Microsoft have set pioneering targets to balance all their consumption with renewable energy production in real time. And they are ready to invest in geothermal to make it happen. We also see how this unfortunate war in Ukraine has sparked a massive interest in geothermal energy in Europe for substituting gas. The market for ground source heat pumps is exploding as we speak, and companies like Innergy, Ever, Dandelion, GeoEgg, and many, many more are developing geothermal heating solutions. Also, on a country level, we see several countries such as the US, Kenya, Croatia, Taiwan, and many more. They are pushing for more geothermal. It's getting into the country policies. So, yes, I would say the customers care about geothermal. Okay, but what about the capital, you might ask? And I would say 5 years ago, we saw very low interest from the financial investors to support geothermal energy, but that has changed. Today, we see several investors following the footsteps of pioneering investors like Breakthrough Energy Ventures, Chevron, Baker Hughes, Temasek, and BP. And they now have geothermal as a focus area besides other renewables like solar and wind. Also, we see large infrastructure players. They're becoming more and more sophisticated, and they look for a way to enter the industry. Okay, so if it's not the potential of geothermal, if it's not the cost, if it's not the demand, and not the technology, what's holding geothermal back? And I think that is where you can come into the picture. I believe that the growth of geothermal is a matter of how many people we can mobilize. And we need more possibilistic people to join the industry that can use their competence to close the remaining gaps to make geothermal scale faster. We need people that can shorten development times, provide more capital, and commercialize new technologies to speed up the development. Remember, we need geothermal to get the energy system right. And we need to get the energy system right to get transportation, production, agriculture, and housing right. Geothermal is a crucial piece of the puzzle to create a resilient society. I'm committing my life to make this is a reality. And of course, I hope to do it together with you.
Well, I for sure hope to do that together with you the coming years.
I'm glad to have you on this journey.
Well, I'm glad to have you, definitely. It was a very inspiring speech, Magnus, and a big calling to people outside of this industry to join in.
The fact is, everyone we talk to, everyone loves the idea of geothermal. That's not the problem. What I think is important now is to bring them into the industry and really, show them that their efforts matter. I think that's the key.
If we would make a compelling case to people who are not in this industry yet, what would we say? Come to geothermal and you will get?
I mean, you will get a lifetime of excitement. I think no, but I think we're in the same stage where wind power was maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago, or solar was 15 years ago. When you saw something, this is fantastic, this can become really big, but we have to get the wheels turning. It's the same now with geothermal. So, get on board.
I mean, I still recall the conversations we had in the beginning when we were setting up vision and mission, and we asked the staff, why do they actually work?
Yeah.
And I still remember Simon's answer to us, and he said, because I want to look my kids in the eyes or my grandchildren in the eyes when they ask me what I did in the 2020s to prevent this, and be honest and truthful about it. I think that's what you're going to get if you get into geothermal, right? Yeah,
of course, and there are many other industries with similar challenges as I mentioned that needs transformation. There's so much meaningful work to be done everywhere. But if you have experience from product development, finance, I don't know,
marketing, sales,
exact. Yeah. Just get in.
Yeah, I agree.
The demand is huge for us.
I couldn't agree more, and I think that we have an exciting couple of years to come. I mean, you've talked about a little bit what happened the last 5. What do you predict, like in 5 years from now? What are going to be the biggest developments?
So I think we will see a lot of new breakthrough technology announcements, new development in enhanced geothermal systems and advanced geothermal systems. And we will see more projects coming online, but we know it takes a couple of years to get a project online from exploration to commissioning. So we won't see that much in 5 years, but from 5 to 10 years, there will be much more projects coming online. But I think, if you look at the momentum and the pace of new announcements coming within geothermal, it's picking up speed. That's quite exciting, I think.
Actually, it's even hard to keep up right now because it's happening so much at the same time.
Yeah.
But still, we are having challenges. Of course, we spoke a little bit about it, or you spoke a little bit about it in your speech. If you would have like a magic wand and you would say, "Fix this for me," what would that be in order to frog leap with geothermal? What would you wish for?
I would actually think bigger than just geothermal. I would like to have that action plan. You know, the resilient society. We need to get to net zero. We need to get to a resilient society. But what is the plan to get there? If we have the plan, it would be so much easier, and we can see what needs to happen in each of our societal systems at what pace, and we can do it in a structured order. Now, we don't have that plan, so we have to do our best to figure that out as we move along. But if you can fix that, you know, that would be great.
I can draw, I can visualize things, so let's just put together that
I know
map.
you can do amazing
Systemic
things.
changes. So we'll see. We'll take it up as a challenge.
Yes,
right?
That's great.
Well, thank you very much, Magnus, for joining us here today.
Thank you so much.
You were here the first speech. You are also doing the last seminar. Any last thoughts about what we've done here with the virtual seminar?
I think it's been great. It's been great for uniting the industry. I think there are many other industries and other companies that look at geothermal and say, okay, we also want an own TV show. You know, we also want to highlight the work that we're doing. So I think that has been of tremendous importance to bring together players, showing what they're doing, and also inspiring others. I think that has really been the big value of these virtual seminars.
And you know a little bit about the secret, but we're not going to tell just yet.
When one door closes, another one opens. That's what I've heard.
High five.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so
Magnus, for
much.
joining me here on
Thank you.
stage.